I'm 32 years old and married to a 27-year-old woman. We've been dating for 8 years and 3 months, or nearly 6 years. It had been 7 years since we moved in together. It was always fantastic, in my opinion. We seemed like the ideal couple to me. Both of us own cars, have steady incomes, sound financial situations, and purchased a home 5 years ago. I tragically and quite suddenly lost my mother to a heart attack in February of 2022. The months that followed were extremely difficult for both my wife and me because we were close to my mother. And I mean very tough when I say rough. We went out only maybe twice in 6 months. Every time, we remained in, lounging on the couch and enjoying TV. I wasn't happy about the situation, but I thought we would work things out. 5 weeks ago was D-Day, as I see everyone referring to it. 5 minutes from our house, my wife went out to drink with 3 of her male co-workers. Okay, cool, but I have to go to bed soon, I thought. She arrived home with the 3 males I knew in the middle of the night, 30 minutes past midnight, and announced that she was going out on the town with them. Despite my dislike, I was unable to stop her. It's a 15-minute commute, but everything closes at 4, so she arrived home around 5:30. That's when my concerns started, even though I didn't distrust her prior to tonight. 4 weeks ago today, she spent the whole Sunday away since she was going to a carnival with her mother. Even though I didn't believe it, what can you do? Even when I was taking a shower, she departed without saying goodbye. She came home later that day and sobbed as she came inside our home. We had a brief but intense conversation about it when I said, "Honey, come here." What happened? Did something happen? What's got you so upset? Her exact first words at that point were, "I want a divorce." She denied cheating when I asked her directly. She told me that the reason for the divorce was because she had been unhappy for a longer time. This was shocking to me because she never once told me that there was a problem in our relationship. Nevertheless, she left the discussion and is currently residing at her mother's house. We had a puppy that neither she nor I could care for alone, so I saw her again 4 days later at her mother's place. Our dog now resides at an aunt's place. Nevertheless, I challenged her about cheating again since I spotted her, and this time, she came clean. She told me that from the day she started drinking until the week after she moved out of her house, she had been cheating on me. She expressed her belief that she is in love with him. She stated she felt like she was going through a midlife crisis and didn't know what to do with her life or what she wanted. When I asked her what was so fantastic about him, all she could say was, "Yeah, we have a good connection, spark, so that's it, I suppose." I think she's going insane. She suddenly and unexpectedly colored her hair purple. She enrolled in motorbike riding classes. I tried reconciling, if that's the appropriate word, with her the first week, or maybe even the 2 weeks after, but she wouldn't budge. I get responses to my light-hearted messages, but they are brief and, I suppose, a little haughty. She ignores every important message I send her. Sincerely, I can no longer recognize my wife. It seems like a week has passed since her last personality change. She is treating me like I'm some kind of trash, as if I never existed in the first place. Is this a ploy by her defenses to make things easy for herself, pushing her issues off to a later date, or is it possible that she has truly transformed and is feeling this way now? How is this even feasible on Earth? While I acknowledge that falling in love is an amazing experience, what will happen to her after the honeymoon phase ends and she truly wakes up from it all in a few months? Really, I've been feeling a lot of different emotions lately. I'm terribly, really disappointed in her, and I hate her for cheating on me. However, I also understand and am aware of the solid foundation that our marriage has always had. There have been 5 weeks since D-Day. Neither she nor I have formally filed for divorce as of yet. She might still be seeing the guy she cheated on me with, but I'm not positive. To be really honest, right now, I can't decide if I should end our marriage or try to save it. I genuinely don't care if we split up or get back together right now. I just don't know what to do at this point. I can see how filing for divorce now might make me regret being too hasty, but I also can't continue to live in a state of confusion where I'm legally still married but she's already moved out. Let's hear some suggestions from the neighborhood. Sin 2, 8, and 9 say, you really should start the filing yesterday. Make sure you separate your finances and start talking with a lawyer. If you're wanting to save this, which I hope you don't, this will most likely be the wake-up call. Right now, she thinks she can walk all over you while you just sit there waiting. Really shows her lack of respect. To be really honest, this is also making me question whether she has a mental illness of some kind or whether her manic episodes are still unacceptable. Opie, get a backbone and quit allowing her to treat you like way. According to Foreign, I feel like maybe she could have been done with this relationship a long time ago, and that's why she's moving on so quickly. There could also be some type of mental health issue going on given the change in her appearance and the desire to take up motorcycle lessons. Honestly, file for divorce, stop waiting in limbo. Why wait? Waiting for her to come back? So then what? Why would you want to be with someone who treated you like that? Update * alright, so I made a few calls yesterday. We have a concept here in the Netherlands known as a mediator. They manage every facet of divorce, therefore this mediator takes care of the legal work, the money, the emotional discussions, etc. It resembles an all-in-one type of person who assists two persons in setting up the doors. We had to speak with this mediator today. I had to pick up my soon-to-be ex since her car broke down, which was unfortunate, but it was necessary for the mediation process to go and the divorce to be finalized. My soon-to-be ex and I must both attend the sessions with him. In any case, the conversation went fairly well and as planned. Although we both stated that we wanted a divorce, the affair was never brought up. Since this mediator is unbiased and does not take a position, I did not think it was important to bring up. Furthermore, there are no rules prohibiting cheating in the Netherlands. She is still entitled to the same protections that she would have had for not lying. So here we are at the table together, hardly speaking, after the mediator has departed. Our cat's antics provide the only source of distraction for us. Following this, she appeared somewhat upset. I asked her if she had anything more to say after a few minutes, to which she replied, no. I then said, okay then. I think you can go now because I don't want you here. She then asked, okay, can you take me home? I replied, no. How you're getting home is your own problem. I'm not in the mood to drive 30 minutes taking you home. Given that I used to take care of everything for her, I believe she expected me to drive her home. She then called her mother, who will be taking her up in approximately an hour. She said, she's out of the house now. She still appeared hurt and was obviously upset as she walked away, saying, I'm going to take a walk for about an hour until my mom gets here to pick me up. Well, though, I'm persevering. She continued to exhibit a lot of odd behavior, and I believe that she is still confused about the affair. All things considered, I still adore her for her true nature. But for the time being, I'm not letting her get in the way of my strength and my treatment of her. Edit, to be honest, she means nothing to me at the moment. I simply can't relate to her anymore as the woman I loved and trusted. That being said, that was the update for now. I will provide you with updates later on. And thank you all once more for your tremendous support in response to my earlier post. The response from the community, Mysterious Maxim 488 states, I had to laugh at her reaction. What did she expect? Why didn't she call her affair partner? The author responds, I have absolutely no idea. I asked, can affair partner come pick you up in the neighborhood, not at my house because he works 5 minutes away from here? But she said, no, he is not working today. That's all I know. Of course, her car broke down, and of course, she wanted you to take her home. Just a manipulation tactic and a way for her to have control over you. Still, she gets off on that. They try to dig those claws in you as soon as you stop giving cheaters the attention they want, they become desperate for it. Don't give in. Update 2, hi to all of you. You guys have been a huge assistance to me. Apart from the fact that I'm mentally exhausted, which I have to acknowledge, I'm doing better than I would have anticipated after just 6 weeks. Regarding the actions of my soon-to-be ex-wife, I have a question. You don't have to read the entire tale to answer the question, but you are welcome to peruse my earlier entries. For those who don't know, my wife cheated on me, left, and we are divorcing. That's the long tale. That was half a year ago. He is in love with her, and she says she is much in love with the partner in the affair. She's definitely in affair fog, in my opinion. Now, my real query is this: is it typical for my soon-to-be ex to treat everyone around her badly, with the possible exception of her parents and her affair partner? She is clearly mistreating me, treating me with no dignity, and acting as though I were the worst spouse ever. I think her assertions that she's been miserable for a number of years are total nonsense. To be honest, though, I'm no longer concerned about what she's doing to me. She's wrecking her life, not mine. However, it's not just impacting one person. My father gave her the loveliest note he had ever sent in his life, and she sent back nothing at all, not even a thank you. Following the death of my mother in February of last year, my wife would frequently take my dad to a nearby amusement park. Given that they both have subscriptions, they may visit frequently. My son and I are deeply affected by the fact that my dad, who loved her dearly, is aging by the hour. Being an ex-wife sends absolutely no gratitude at all. She turned him on to read. Although they haven't spoken in a few weeks, she was also quite close to my younger sister and expressed a desire to stay that way. In addition, my wife has been neglecting her best friend, who is also a mutual friend, throughout the day that she was meant to spend with her today. If today was still going to happen, her best buddy would have sent her multiple messages by now. My spouse doesn't even read her texts, she doesn't even respond. Nor did she answer the phone. They were meant to meet today, same thing, she doesn't answer the phone. Her best friend inquires again via messaging if she plans to go, but she receives no response. Although her WhatsApp status indicates that she has been online since sending the messages, she didn't even read them. Her best friend had obviously been crying all day. She skipped work to spend time with my wife, go shopping, and enjoy herself, and now this. Is this behavior typical for someone experiencing a considerable amount of fog, or may there be another reason? It doesn't matter what my spouse does. I've had enough of her. But for her best friend, this is just so unbelievably sad. Due to my wife's treatment of her, she has been crying on the couch for the entire day. As I type all of this, I have another question, but I believe I already know the answer. My ex-wife has been unhappy for a number of years and is telling others that we broke up because we grew apart. It must be common for someone who cheats to make excuses to everyone and to lie to them about what really happened and how they fell in love with someone else. Whoa, I almost forgot something pretty crucial, I think. Our mutual acquaintance, her best friend, actually moved in with us for almost 6 months, from November 2021 to April 2022. She had nowhere to stay after ending an extremely awful relationship. We brought her in because we had a spare room. In any case, my wife and best friend literally discuss everything, even our relationship and sexual lives. Everything. Her best friend and I talk every day, and she's been incredibly kind and open with me. I asked her whether there was any truth to what my wife had stated about not being content with me for an extended length of time. BFF claims everything is false. My wife has never expressed any dissatisfaction with me to her or discussed it with me. Remember that they said everything to one another, but not a word about their unhappiness. Therefore, my soon-to-be ex-wife is either lying shamelessly now, I'm not sure why, maybe to get away with cheating on me and ending our marriage, or she may have concealed her sad sentiments from everyone but herself. To be honest, I'm not sure. However, in my experience, and BFF concurs, I never saw her feeling bad about me. Once again, many thanks to all of you. Without your incredible support, I never would have made it to this point in my life. Let us follow up with that encouraging group. Low Profession 9366 states, your warrior wife cannot is in a fair fog of sorts. She is currently lying to herself so she doesn't have to face the gravity of what she's done. She cannot be with anyone who could call her out on her deceit. She is refusing to face it to answer for it because if she did she'd soon realize how horrid her choices are. She'd have to reconcile her faulty memory story with reality. Cheaters lie, but the one person they lie to the most is themselves. Regular Bat 4449 said, she needs to justify her actions to herself so she makes you and her friends the bad guy to make herself feel better. She's probably miserable and can't face it. The poster responds, well, to be honest, I saw her last Tuesday because we had to talk about the divorce. She hasn't been sleeping well since she left 5 weeks ago. She just looked quite bad actually, and really tired and not happy at all. I suppose when she's around to airfare partner it's only happiness. I think she's ignoring everyone because it's a way to ignore responsibility and taking ownership of her actions. She's living in denial. She's probably thinking if she ignores them long enough they'll go away and it'll be the death of her old life, aka she can pretend to live in his fantasy world with this affair partner and her purple hair. The lying has to do with that too. She said you grew apart because she can't look like the bad guy. She has to look like the one that got out on top. Last minute revision. If you're interested in the whole tale, please read my post history. In brief, after 8 years of marriage, my 6-year wife cheated on me 5 months ago, told me she wanted a divorce, and essentially fled to be with her preferred partner. In 4 days, we will officially file for divorce by signing our divorce papers. Considering I haven't posted in almost 4 months, this will be a lengthy post. I made some mistakes along the way, but I also took some actions that helped me regain my strength and my self-respect. First off, 5 months after the affair and the initial shock, I can say that I seldom ever think about the cheating anymore or am impacted by it. So, if you're going through a difficult moment, please know that time is truly on your side and that things will get better. I erred following the adultery and our breakup. I pleaded and cried out, became enraged and agitated, and felt completely out of control, as though she had gone insane. This continued for around 90 days. Unfortunately, I decided to stop complaining after this time. I told her I had given it a lot of thought and that I would still be willing to visit and talk to her, that I believed there might still be a chance for us to be together, but I also acknowledged that I couldn't promise anything. For the past 3 months, I haven't personally gotten in touch with her, at least not for informal matters. The only relationship-related issues I inquired about were those pertaining to our impending divorce, money, and shared residence. I didn't do nothing except wait around. I've been 32 years old for the past 3 months, and I went to the gym for the first time in my life to work out, more specifically, to build muscle, because I've always been on the thin side. I've been going to the gym with complete focus. I've been working out 4 times a week for the past 3 months. Not only am I getting more attractive, but I'm also getting more muscular. My look at the gym is improved, but it also benefits my mental health. I started working out to keep myself occupied and preoccupied initially, but after 3 months, I feel and look better. I'm getting back a confidence that I had no idea I possessed. So, pro tip of the day, going to the gym seems to help both physically and mentally when you're going through a difficult period. I've spoken with the bank about our shared house, and I'm able to lend more and take on a larger mortgage. About $65,000 is what I need to pay my ex-wife for the house, but I can and will pay it. I will own the mutual house to the full extent after paying her and executing all the paperwork, which should bring the house's value to over $300,000. Although I'm not thrilled about having to give her the $65,000, I will ultimately be far better off because I own my own home, which is around 5 times that cost. Furthermore, she is no longer the owner of my residence. Although she is legally back living with her mother, I know that she spends a lot of time at her fair partner's place. How can I know that? Because I'm not talking to her. I will attend to that. We have a mutual friend, my ex and I. Though we don't always get out together, we do talk frequently. To the best of my knowledge, ex ended our relationship and went directly into a new rebound romance after splitting up with the affair partner. My ex seems to be going insane at times, and I'm not sure what's going on with her. I make an effort to keep my thoughts away from her, but occasionally they stray. Additionally, since that's essentially what a fair partner is right now, I suppose I could refer to him as my boyfriend at this point. But since it all began with a fair partner, I will continue to follow that strategy. Karma, the ex-wife and partner in an affair, is a witch, and the blow is beginning to land hard. Everything seemed to be going well for ex and affair partner when they initially started dating 5 months ago. But things are starting to change. I have proof that one of the pair partners is currently dealing with depression at home because a common acquaintance sent me screenshots of an exchange between the ex-wife and the partner. The partner in the affair is presently unemployed as well. I always felt better than my affair partner due of his lack of morality, even before everything started with the cheating and everything, and I already thought he was nothing compared to me. Now that I'm positive, my ex-wife has once again convinced me that she is insane. I don't mean to seem conceited, but I am positive that I am the better man than her partner from her affair and that I am the true love. A little extra at the beginning of their relationship, I cautioned her and continued to communicate with her. Apparently, I was correct all along. He not only demonstrates that he is the loser that I already sort of thought he was, but he also introduced her to something that has the potential to destroy her. In a way, she is creating her own grave. She was first exposed to hard narcotics by her fair companion. This is known to me via our shared friend. I haven't discussed it with my ex-wife. It is her prerogative to wreck her own life if she so chooses, but things don't appear to be going well for her. I have no doubt that my ex-wife is having difficulty and may even be questioning her own decisions. Over the Christmas and New Year's holidays, I hadn't seen or spoken to her. But during a Saturday in early 2023, she texted me out of the blue to ask whether I was home and if she could come over. She visited my house, and we didn't spend much time together, about 5 minutes. She came over to tell me that she was by herself on Christmas Day. Sabe inquired about how my holidays had gone and my general well-being. I informed her that while my Christmas was fine, it wasn't the best. Since these were my first holidays without my mother after her death last year, it was understandably only passably good. Yes, this was strange for me, even though I told her I was fine, which I really am. All I can think about this entire visit and why she would be interested in my well-being is whether she does, in fact, regret anything. We'll find out in time. And I talked to my ex's mother. After the New Year's holiday, my ex-mother-in-law gave me a call to wish me a happy and prosperous new year. Since she has been family for the past 8 years, I must say that I was surprised by her call. Nevertheless, it was good to hear from her. My mother-in-law informed me that my ex-wife hasn't been acting well lately. She seems to be grieving the marriage, sobbing a lot, and being quite depressed. Even more, Hikex told her mother-in-law, "I wish it wouldn't have been like this," which suggests to me once more that she is reconsidering. But only my ex has the ability to initiate contact and make a move, which is something I don't see occurring very often these days. My only true power is to grant her the divorce that she requested, leave her life, and do just that, which is exactly what I did. I'm taking myself out of her life, divorcing her, and improving myself every day. I apologize for the lengthy message, but I think this covers all I wanted to say. We are about to sign the divorce papers in 4 days, and while I am doing incredibly well, I am still just human and occasionally miss our marriage and my ex-wife. Although I detest what has happened to her, I also understand that it is not my fault and is beyond my control. Allow me to thank everyone in the community one last time before I go. Many thanks even without your assistance. I would not be in my current physical and emotional state. Let's find out what the community thinks about this. Diligent Permission 3 says, as she tries to come crawling back, it would be strongly advised not to even entertain the possibility. You say a fair partner introduced her to hard drugs. That's a huge deal breaker. Do you know exactly what kind of drugs they've been taking? If so, look up the effects of those drugs. Usually, that's what's been taking both of them down a slippery slope. You said if Harry Potter lost his job and has serious depression issues, probably the adverse or reaction of those drugs. You say she stopped by to see how you were doing. Mother-in-law called telling you how Sadibiak's wife is crying a lot. Doesn't sound good. Please sign those divorce papers and make everything final before you do anything close to communicating with your ex. I wonder has she spent or messed up settlement money she got off the house. Sounds like karma is doing its job. In the meantime, you stay strong and stick to your goals and stay clean. Things will get better real soon. Remember, you're the better man in person, okay? Rubik's EFT says, your wife has no regrets. Selfish people never do. They merely blame others for their poor choices. As for her wanting to come by your place, she wanted to see if you had replaced her with another woman because you have been no contact. She wanted to observe you up close to gauge whether or not you will act as a safety net for her if she chooses to come back. If you are wise, you will decline other visits from your suitably ex-wife. You have nothing to gain by these interactions. In many cases, such meetings only serve to delay and set back a betrayed spouse's efforts to heal and move on. Also, they serve as an opportunity for your cheating ex to attempt to manipulate you and gain information she hopes to use to manipulate you more in the end of your marriage. But do it without the burden of further contact with your ex-wife. Let her go, stop worrying and concerning yourself with what she's doing, who she's with, and what drug she's taking. Obviously, she's off a rocker. There's nothing you can do, and you really shouldn't want to try to keep that sort of thing in your life. Move on, don't even entertain the idea that you could get back with her in the future. That would be a waste of your time, especially when you've already come this far. Once these papers are signed, don't you dare look back. She deserves all the lonely nights. Let her cry herself to sleep. What do you make of all this? Do you have a similar story? Share your thoughts below. I also want to thank you for coming on today.